All right, welcome back. In this lecture, what we're going to look at is how to actually filter the products based upon our diet item Boolean field we've added. So right now, if you click on diet items, we do have a new menu that shows the items in a tree view, and we see the new Boolean field that we've added to our tree view here. But you'll notice that items that are not diet items are still showing up in the list. Specifically this one, which should be marked as a diet item and it isn't, and this one that isn't and it shouldn't be, but we're seeing everything. And that's the purposes of this menu, is specifically not to show anything but diet items. So let's see how we can do that with that diet item Boolean field we've added to our product template. So if we go here to our diet facts view, you'll see that we have a context, and actually I want to take this out because we're going to do that later. We have a context, but we can also, in addition to having a context that would call up a filter, we can also use a concept known as domain to limit what records are shown within a particular model. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's add field name equals domain. So this matches actually what you will see here under the edit action, that there's a domain value here. And so that is how you specify that in code. And we're going to, in ours, say, I've got it in my clipboard, I think, diet item equals true. So you can see the syntax here. We have an open bracket, open parentheses. We have the string to hold diet item, string to hold our comparison, which we want it to be equal to true. So this will limit this action to only having items that are diet item equals true. So let's save this like that and restart. Oh, looks like we might have an error. I don't think we do. Oh, we do. This needs to be field, not domain. That was a mistake because we're not ending the domain, we're ending the field. It just happens to be this is the domain tag. So I had a mistake having domain there. So we'll save that and restart our server. Make sure there's no errors from our change here. And now let's click on diet items and see if there it is. It's applied that domain, so we only see the items that are diet items now. Even though there's no filter up here, even if we take this filter off, we'll never see anything but the diet items here. And we can now verify that our code changes have worked by looking at edit action and seeing the domain value as being plugged in here for us. So now one of the items I worked on that I want to show you in the videos, one of the disadvantages is if I add an item to this, it's not going to automatically check the diet item. And I'll show you what I mean. If I click create, and you'll notice that diet item's not checked, even though I'm under diet items. If I go here and pick another item to put in here, we'll just go with this one. Copy, paste. Notice I can just hit save, and we don't have the diet item is being checked. We'd have to remember to go in and edit it and check diet items. So now, from a user interface standpoint, it starts to seem kind of obvious that there's going to be certain defaults and certain things that you would expect, and in this case is one of them. If I'm in diet items and I create a diet item, I would expect the diet item to automatically be checked. But, as you can see, it's not. So, at this point, you might think, okay, well, how would I do that? And fortunately, in Odoo, there's a simple mechanism, and it works much the same way as the filters. So notice how we have under context, search, default, filter to cell. We can also use this same context to pass along default values when there's a new record created. So if I do a comma here and I say default and I put underscore as like a delineator so that Odoo knows what I'm doing, I can put diet item and then I do need my quotes around this, just like they did around their search default filter to cell. And then I have a colon here for a separator, and then put true. And what this is going to say is for this action, which is the diet items actions, I want the diet item field in this model to default to true. So let's save that. And let's go ahead and do a restart. No errors. That's always a good sign. Now watch what happens when we go here and create a new diet item. We didn't get it yet. So let's do a shift refresh. Remember, actions, menus sometimes don't get refreshed automatically. You've got to shift refresh to tell the browser because it might have already loaded that inside of the create. So when I hit create, now watch what happens. Diet items checked because we're under the diet items and our action has been upgraded to check this for us. So it gives us a chance to put in another yummy piece of food, loaded baked potato. So we'll get a loaded baked potato in there. And you'll notice that this time the diet item is automatically checked and it stays checked. So that way if we go back, we'll see our loaded baked potato in here. Even though we haven't been filling in our calories, we'll need to do that for what's soon coming up, us being able to create a menu and add products to them and total them up. So we're going to now dive into all new models and new views for those models, as well as doing some relation fields and calculation fields to do some totaling so we can total up our calories and keep track of them. So much more to learn, and look forward to seeing you in the next lecture.